Alright, guys. I woke up today like 4 p.m., which is not probably not the most ideal thing. Feeling a little bit less sick today, but what I do, I woke up and took a shower. Then I went to the dining hall, ate food alone type shit, and then I'm walking back and I hit up CVS. As I'm walking to CVS, there's like a bunch of people in this like courtyard place in downtown stores, which is, Yukon. And I'm like, what the fluff? Like, why are all these people here? And then I see a cop, like a state trooper, on the side. I'm like, I'm walking to CVS. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He says, oh, it's a vigil for Charlie Kirk. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Then I walk in to CVS. I was planning on getting like a new like head attachment for my toothbrush. Them Johns are like $40. What the fuck? Hell no. Then I want to get some more whitening strips. Them shits are like $60. I think that freaking CVS like that's near me is like overcharging like crazy. So I was like, fuck that. I'm not paying for any of that. So then I'm walking out, and while I'm walking out, I'm thinking like, you know what? I'm a person that, I've made a whole video about talking about challenging my beliefs and, looking at the other side's opinion, being open-minded. So what do? Obviously speaking, I go to the Charlie Kirk Vigil. And it was a very telling experience, right? It was very... First of all, everybody in that crowd was white. I saw maybe like 3 people that weren't white, and they looked uncomfortable. And then I'm walking up and I see another dude pull up. He's like African American, and he's like, and me and him start looking at each other, like giving each other a side eye, because we were like on the outside. It's like there's like a fence. It's like this fenced in area kind of, and we were just on the other side of it. It's like we were like, it wasn't like an enclosed area. It's like open courtyard, right, with like a little section for like public gatherings. And we were on the other side, like on the sidewalk that walks by this area, right? So me and this African American dude, we were chilling, and we looked at each other and we were like, bro, like this is kind of crazy. Like this is like very, very. It just felt very like, I don't know how to describe it. Like it was just very, very radical. Okay. Now, these people, yeah, I wasn't there for the whole thing, so I only heard a few of the people that spoke. But they were like very, very, I cannot fault them. They were very patriotic. I'm a very patriotic person. I love America. But they were very like, we cannot let the communists win. We cannot, us conservatives, we have to stand up and blah, blah. And I was like, thinking like, do they really believe that every single person that's not conservative is a communist and like wants to kill everybody else? It's like, no way. And I'm not going to sit here saying that the left is not wrong, because there were people on, and I think this was like a microcosm of the political atmosphere in America, because we had these, so like this is like a courtyard, right? And on the other side, so there's like a road that goes around this whole courtyard, right? And on the other side of one of the roads, there's like a cafe, and there were people who were very liberal, I'm gonna guess, because one was wearing like a pride flag, one was like, and they were shouting the whole time, pretty much. They're like shouting like insults about Charlie Kirk, and then like insulting them and stuff like that, and insulting the people in the courtyard, which is just so far from the right move, it. So it's very disappointing. And I said this in my last video because I talked about it a little bit about my beliefs about the Charlie Kirk thing, right? Like, dude shouldn't have died, right? It's horrible. There are kids now with no father. There is a wife that is now a widow. That's bad. And obviously, every human can feel empathy for him. Like, it's not, not revolutionary to say I'm sorry that someone's dad just died, right? But, and I know that the right move is not to insult his image after he's dead. Like, that's a low blow. Let's be honest. That's just not the right move. Okay? So, like, the people that were shouting, that were obviously pretty liberal, so in the wrong. And I don't understand what their goal was. It feels like the political, like, I guess, atmosphere is just, I want to get I want to say my belief, and then that's it. I want everyone to know what I believe in, and then that's the end of story. I want to shout my belief as loud as I can. Literally today, what was happening on both sides, right? Both sides. And it's like, well, shouting your belief does jack shit. Okay, you could shout all you want what you believe in. It's not gonna make the other side like change or reevaluate their beliefs. They're just gonna want to shout their belief louder. Which is not indicative of a healthy political atmosphere, right? In America, that's just not the move. So yeah, I listen to these people give, like, I will say the conservative side was very, very biblically tied, or Christianity was very, like, intertwined with their, like, rhetoric. With what I heard, a lot of it was like, quote, like, they had a giant cross and stuff, and they, like, were quoting Bible passages, which, by all means, practice your religion. That's literally an amendment, and that's literally like I believe in that. Like, I would never tell people not to believe in what they want to believe in, but I find it interesting, because they were literally using, like, rhetoric from the founding fathers of, like, the founding fathers would never have wanted this and blah 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 and this, and I'm like, the founding fathers wanted a clear, the clear distinction between the state and the church. So it's like, I think that on both sides, people like to pick and choose what other people say and be like, or what other people have said, and, like, pick and choose other people's words to support their arguments. And they're like, oh, look, George Washington would be on my side. And then you could be like, well, no, George Washington's actually on my side. It's like, I think it's a poor attempt at rhetoric. But yeah, so beyond these people, they gave their, like I said, it felt like a sermon, which is fine. I've been to church. Church is kind of fun sometimes. And then we sang Amazing Grace. I sang along too, because I think practice what I preach. I think that, this Charlie guy at least deserves to be given grace as he passes on. However, what I will touch upon is how saddened I think I feel that, this is a big crowd of people got together, right? And they sang Amazing Grace, Amazing Grace, and blah, 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 right? And are obviously portraying themselves as people who feel saddened by this person's death. Now, I don't think they really were. I didn't see any tears. I didn't see any people looking, like, really sad that this dude died. But what I did see was people getting very invigorated by the rhetoric that was being preached, which is interesting, to say the least. And I think it's telling of what his death actually has done. It has polarized our climate even more, right? Like, now we got people from the left shouting and screaming their thoughts to these people on the right, and these people on the right, screaming and shouting their thoughts back, and, like, insulting the people on the side of the road because they were, like, and it's interesting. It's interesting. The people on the right were the people in the town square were being very, like, trying to take the high road. And I think the people on the left were also thinking they were taking the high road or doing the right thing, which is, people rarely, or people don't. People see themselves as the hero, right? Like, let's say Mao Zedong, right? If y'all don't know who he is, he was the first leader of the People's Republic of China. Shout out him. He starved to death millions of people in China through this thing called the Cultural Revolution. He had these mandates of, like, one of them, for example, he said, we have poor crop yields because of these birds. I want every kid, every child, every person that is able to go out there and kill these birds that are in our fields. We're going to kill them all, and then we're going to have more crops. When he said that, I don't think that he believed that that would lead to the death of tens of millions of people. And fun fact, if that had not happened, your boy would not be in America. Do I want to tell that story? Yes, I do. That's an interesting fun fact about me. At least this is just like my speculation. So basically my granddad was smart guy, obviously. That's the story of my family, right? A bunch of fucking geniuses in the Ding and Allison families. But he got in trouble, right? So he was a troublemaker in high school, and he got kicked out, okay, because he was being a dickhead. So then he had no options. He was like, fuck, I have no education. What am I going to do? He joins the Army, or the Navy. He joined the Navy. And this is right about time when people started starving to death, when people didn't have no food. But guess what? Because he was in the Navy, he had food. So he lived, and he didn't starve and die like tens of millions of people in China. And then, obviously, you know, him being alive means my whole lineage and whatnot, and boom. Shout out Mao Zedong, I guess. But what happened was, they killed these birds. These birds were shot, or I think they used like slingshots and like just caught them and killed them and shit. And apparently the birds were actually really helpful for the crops because they were, quote unquote, killing all the bugs that actually killed the crops. So when Mao like ordered these people to kill these crops, right, or kill these birds, the birds were dead now, and now there's a shit ton of fucking bugs and shit on the crops, and the crops all died, and then people starved to death. But Mao, in the moment, I bet when he was ordering the people to kill the birds, he thought he was doing the right thing, and he felt like he was being the hero. He was the hero of China. He was going to bring I bet that he thought he was going to bring a period of utmost prosperity for the Chinese people. That did not happen, right? And now the general consensus, or is that the right word? Yeah, general consensus of Mao, looking back, is that he was a tyrannical leader that led a country to the deaths of millions of people, tens of millions of people, right, in the Cultural Revolution. And then, obviously, I'm not saying he was a good guy. He definitely did some really weird stuff and like bad stuff, and like definitely like it wasn't just the birds, and it wasn't just this famine that he's remembered for being a shitty leader. But I bet in the moment he thought he was doing the right thing. And I think that we all have that feeling that we are doing the right thing. That the people that were shouting from the cafe, screaming Charlie Kirk was a racist and stuff like that, for whatever arcane reasons they believe that they were doing the right thing, or I can't name those reasons, but I bet in their minds they were doing the right thing. They are being the heroes of the freedom of speech of American political theater or whatever, right? They are being the heroes. And yet the people on the right who were doing the vigil for Charlie Kirk believed that they were in the right, talking about how that conservatives have to stand up against the communists and that all this stuff. And I think that they're both wrong. I think every single person, maybe it's just my hero complex saying I'm the person who's right and everyone else is wrong. But I think I have some legitimate reasons, and you can disagree with me by all means, please do. But I think that I like to believe that I practice what I preach today, of like, because let's be honest, I'm definitely like a left-leaning person, but I don't know. I say left-leaning, but maybe I am just like a super liberal person who is trying to put on the facade of someone that like isn't left-leaning. But I think in all honesty, I'm not a very politically polarized person. I just think that I'm like becoming more polarized because of the shitty atmosphere we have in America, which is not good, right? This is not good. So anyways, I think I'm in the right, okay? That all these fucking people in this town square, left, right, middle, center, are all fucking dickheads that were screaming and, shouting into the void and thinking they're, like, accomplishing stuff. Which is so stupid. Like, the people who were shouting from the cafe accomplished nothing, okay? Nobody was suddenly convinced when they were shouting, Charlie Kirk is a racist. Nobody in that town square just had this sudden, like, hallelujah moment or eureka moment of, like, wait a minute. This guy was a racist. I'm now not going to support this person anymore. Okay, that did not happen. and it would never have happened. And these people, and then the people in the courtyard, you know, shouting their conservative rhetoric to other conservatives did not convince anybody of anything else. It's like, I hate going, and I love my family gatherings because I think the people in my family are super interesting, and this is my dad's side. Like my aunts, my uncles, like they always have really great stories. They have a lot of good life experiences, and it's always fun. It's always fun to hang out with these people because they're interesting, thought-provoking people. However, most of the time when I'm talking with, like, every Thanksgiving, bro, every single Thanksgiving, sometimes we host it at my house, and it's just annoying as shit because every single person in my family, on my dad's side of my family, are all extremely, extremely, extremely liberal, bro. Like, they bleed blue, okay? Like, my aunt, like, took time off. She's a doctor, okay? Like, taking time off is a big deal. Well, actually, no, because she's, like, not private practice, but she's, like, she's not, like, an on-call doctor. Well, sometimes she is. Sometimes she has to work in the thing. I don't know. But she took time off to, like, go to Pennsylvania during the election to, like, knock on doors and, like I don't know, support Kamala or whatever. Like, my family is very, very blue, okay? And yet, every Thanksgiving, it always ends up talking, like, at least, like, I'll put, like, 50% of the time we're talking, it's about politics. And everybody agrees with everybody else. So I'm like, it just pisses me off. It's like, why are we talking about the same thing? Like, y'all all agree, bro. What is the point? We're talking in circles about how much we freaking, or how much they hate, like, I don't know, they hate Donald Trump and how they love Joe Biden. It's like, bro, TS is just a waste of time. It's so annoying. And that's the same kind of feeling I had in this fucking courtyard. Like, all these people are shouting the same thing. Y'all all agree on the same thing. Oh my God. I don't see really the point of it. Yeah. And same with those three people on the left. Like, shouting these things is not helpful. And it's just, oh my God, bro. I feel so smart right now. I'm going to be completely honest. Because I think all these people are genuine dickheads, okay? They're just genuinely stupid. The people from the cafe and the people in the courtyard are all freaking idiots, okay? I don't see a future where it's like, let me take a step back. A good leader is someone that can, regardless of if you agree with them or not, there's somebody you can trust, right? And that brings a country together. So an ideal president, I would rather a president be supported by like 60% of the people and it's 30% liberal, 30% conservative than have them be, let's say like 50%, right? Let's say a president that has a 50% popularity vote, but is split evenly, 25 liberal, 25 conservative. That's, I think, is a better president than a president that's just supported by 50% all conservative or 50% all liberal. Like, you need people to, like, from both sides of the aisle to freaking be supporting our leader, right? Like, that's what a good leader is. So that's why I don't think increasing polarization, which this death did, is good for our country. And, God, man. I think it's so telling how passionate I am right now. It just tells you how like polarized this, like, the fucking situation is. And I just pisses me off, bro. Like, just make me president, bro. Like, I swear to God, I would be such a good president. I don't see, like, I feel like I could get people from both sides of the aisle to support me. But I don't know. This has been a pretty, like, I don't like to talk about politics. I think it like, that's the thing. I think that talking about politics makes, like, is bound to kind of isolate people and make people feel like you're against them. Because as soon as, let's say, okay, I'm conservative, right? Then every single person that's liberal that hears this is going to be like, that's my enemy. That's the person I don't like. And the same thing if I said I'm liberal, all the conservatives are like, that's my enemy. That's who I don't like. And it's like, dude, it's like, we breathe the same air, we bleed the same, and we live in the same country. It shouldn't be that. Like, it should be like America first, and then you know, let's come together. And then continuing my story. So after these people spoke, we sang Amazing Grace. I stayed there. I stayed around just to see, like, just to hear, like, you know, meet these people, I shook a couple hands, like, yeah, like, what's going on? And I mean, I'm a person that I speak my beliefs, so I was like one of these people that was like, we cannot let the liberals win, and we blah blah blah. I was like, do you not think that this rhetoric is like polarizing and stuff? And he just looked at me. Or no, first I shook his hand and I said, he was one of the speakers. So I shook his hand and I said, so what's your day job? And he says, I sell cars. I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I'm like, do you not think that this rhetoric is like increasing polarization? He's like, yeah. And he seemed proud of it. He seemed very proud. And I was like, do you not think that's good for our country? And he was like, no. I was like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And I think I caught him off guard, to be honest, because what person that's not a conservative would be at a Charlie Kirk Vigil, right? And further beyond that, he probably would not expect someone that disagrees with a lot of their rhetoric to be like shaking his hand and like introducing themselves and then asking him like not even critical, just they were very basic questions. And he was like, I think I just caught him off guard with that, right? And he kind of just like, I didn't press him that much because like I'm not trying to get into an argument with like some grown ass dude with a bunch of people that all agree with him, because then like I don't know, you never know what could happen. There were cops there, but they see a man like me. I'm not a white brother, so he might have slimed me out, which is a horrible thing to say. Like, I'll be honest, I was like getting some dirty looks from people, and I think it's because I'll be honest, during the thing, I low-key let out a couple giggles because of the absurdity of like how telling the whole situation was, of people yelling from across the street and like these people preaching and the giant like cross and stuff. And I was like, I let out a couple giggles and I was getting some dirty looks by some people. And I'm not going to say I felt unsafe because I like mogged like half of not half, like I mogged like 95% of the crowd. Okay. Most of those people were obese. So and I was also taller than like every single person there. So I was like mogging the fuck out of everybody. So like I didn't feel that scared, but like you never know, bro. You never know, man. I don't know how to fight. I don't know karate. Anyways, I was talking with these people and so he just gave me some like weak responses. I was like, whatever, I'm not gonna press this guy. And then he like went about his day. And then there was this other dude, this guy who said his speech was about, like, he's from Italia or something. He's like from Naples, and he was like, and when they scream Bella Ciao, it is a pro-communist thing and blah blah blah. And I was like, well, I don't speak Italian, but my knowledge is that Bella Ciao, the song that goes like Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, 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 that one was like an anti-fascist song, like during World War like II or some shit, or like maybe like Cold War. I don't know. It was just like some like anti-fascist thing. But I didn't argue with anybody about that. But like this dude, right? He was like old. He was like 70 something. And he was very pro-American. And he was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, man. It just, I don't know. It just, I think what I shook his hand. I didn't talk to him that much, but I just listened to him talk with these like students from UConn, right? And I'll be honest, like there's this one lady, and they're from like Turning Point USA or something, which I think is like the Charlie Kirk organization. I don't know, but like they were like, oh, I'm so glad you came out and stuff. And I was like, yeah. I was like, and then and they were like, they seemed very amped to talk to me. And then I was like, yeah, like I came here, but I don't necessarily like believe in all this stuff. And then very quickly, whole 180, she just like showed complete disinterest with me, did not want to talk to me, was like, oh, that's great. And then like gave like a scripted, not again, I said again, never mind. That was a poor choice of words. She then gave me like this, felt like very scripted response of like, that's great. I'm happy that you expressed your opinion. And then immediately turned away, did not want to have her ideas challenged. And I mean, what was I doing if not getting my ideas challenged, going to this whole thing, right? Like, I feel like I walked my talk. I walked my talk today, which I'm proud of myself. I'm happy I did that. I think that a lot of liberals, and I really don't want to bunch myself in with these liberals, bro. I feel like I don't feel like it should be a spectrum, but like I feel like I'm a third party observer here, right? Like I feel like I don't know, man. I definitely don't want to be associated with those people shouting from across the street. Like that shit pissed me off. I think those people were stupid and like really dumb, and like they had this air of superiority of like, yeah, ha ha ha, let's shout at these people. And it's like, they're people just like you. Maybe if you had an actual intelligent conversation with them, you guys could come to some middle ground. But no. We're going to shout from across the thing and accomplish literally nothing. You guys are idiots for doing that. That pissed me off. But anyways, this like lady, this like girl from Yukon, and then I just listened in because there were these other two guys that were like new that were trying to like join Turning Point, and I was just listening to them talking, and they were like, yeah, like it's just an open discourse, and it's just like it's about, you know, you can challenge my beliefs and I don't care. But it's like I literally like 2 minutes ago challenged her beliefs, and she immediately did not want to talk to me, immediately did not want to like actually discuss it. And I'm like, it's just, people just don't actually like, legitimately don't actually like, what's it called? They don't genuinely want their beliefs challenged, okay? They entrench themselves with these false nomers of like, no, I am actually accepting of other people's beliefs. No, I actually do. But yet you surround yourself with people that think the same way as you, and that's your ideal space. And now I'm not putting words in her mouth, because they were talking to these people and saying, yeah, like we went to this convention through Turning Point USA, and it was all these people that, you know, believe the same stuff as me, and it was so amazing. And I was like, oh my God, I have so much fun. And it was like so great. And you guys could come too. And I was like, 30 seconds ago, you were just talking about how you want your ideas challenged, or how it's a good thing to have ideas challenged or whatnot. And like, and now, oh, actually, I really enjoy when I'm surrounded by a bunch of people that think the same. That's just so fundamentally wrong. And I feel like if you can't see how that's wrong from both sides of the aisle, then you're just might be a dickhead, okay? Because if you don't want your beliefs challenged, you're just going to be in this constant cycle of screaming to people and saying the same stuff that everyone believes in. And you're never going to like challenge ideas. Your ideas aren't going to grow. Your thoughts won't progress at all. It's just like my family dinner table when it's fucking Thanksgiving and all these people are saying the same shit. I'm like, pisses me off. It's like, you guys all believe in the same stuff, you know? And God forbid I challenge any of their ideas, then like I get crucified basically. Okay. It's so dumb. And they're all liberal. Okay. So I don't know. I want to give the impression, although I'll be honest, I bet in this whole video I'm coming off very, liberal. That's probably true. But I think that's just because like I had bigger interaction with the conservative side today, which was, it was interesting. I hate that they think like, when I say they, I mean like the conservative people I saw today were all very, very hostile with their rhetoric. And I was like, dude, I'm not a communist and I'm not a conservative. So it's like, because they were this is what I want to say. The Italian dude literally said that the ratio of people that are like, it's like at 100 people, he said 10 people might be like conservative and pro-America, and then the other 90 are all communists. I'm like, what? And then I literally said to the girl that like was running the Turning Point USA thing, I was like, is that like, I was like, that's got to be inflated or whatever. And she was like, yeah, for sure. And then was like, yeah, for sure. And then like immediately stopped like talking to me. I was like, it's like, you know, it's like they're trying to at least the impression I got from her. And I don't want to generalize this because, again, this is a very localized thing, right? So I can't generalize this to the entire right and the entire left. I'm sure there are people on both sides. Well, I'm not sure. I know there are people on both sides that are not acting like a bunch of fools like the freaking left and right I saw today. However, in this moment, this lady, like the impression I got was that she wanted to come across as someone that is open-minded and, you know, likes her ideas being challenged. That's what she wanted to come across as. But in actuality, the impression I got was like, I want to just talk about my beliefs with other people that agree with me, and then I want to be validated, and then I don't want to actually have a conversation with people that don't believe in the same stuff as me. That's what I have to say to that. I don't really have anything else to say. I think big tragedy that this Charlie guy died. I guess the last thing, it's just, it sucks that we can't have this much empathy. Even like, it's okay. My belief is that all these people have some real empathy for his death, and yet they've kind of used this empathy they have to then weaponize it, and they've weaponized his death on both sides, left and right. You know, you have people on the left saying, "Oh my God, I disagree with him, but it's so bad that he died." Oh my God, person discovers empathy. This is crazy. But then they'll say, "But he did this." It's like, you just wanted to come across as a nice person and then push your political agenda. And then the conservative side is like, is the same story of, this is horrible that he died, but like, you know, he was a great person that believed in X, Y, and Z, and we all believe in this too. And it's like, both sides just try to weaponize his death. That's horrible. In an ideal world for me, I wish that both sides could have the same amount of empathy and have it be real empathy for every single person that dies a tragic death that is unneeded, like school shootings, like people starving in Palestine, right? Like, they shouldn't, you know, we should have empathy for all those people. We shouldn't just have empathy for one dude because he was a polarizing figure and we want to broadcast to the world that we have empathy for him, and then also tag along our political beliefs to then push our political agenda. That's just like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and then last things, who killed Charlie Kirk, bro? Who killed him? I think we all know. People are saying he started leaning to the left at the end. You know, end as in last like 5 days he was on Earth. He started questioning the media coverage and the validity of the media coverage in Israel and Gaza, right? He started asking some questions. He started poking the wrong holes. He started poking the wrong bear, and then boom, dead. Did that dude, that like 22-year-old guy, that's like, you know, that was like a Reddit frickin' or some like Discord mod, did he really lace that shot in from like fucking, what was it, like 400 feet or some shit, like something crazy sounding? Like, no way this dude actually hit that shot, right? Like, come on. I mean, it probably was like a trained Mossad agent. But I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying it. I'm just saying, come to your own conclusions. Israel definitely killed Charlie Kirk. But yeah. But it's a joke, by the way. Please don't slide me out. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this whole situation in the comments. Yeah. Catch you guys later.